I opened my eyes, but nothing, only water with a yellow glow. Dark water that no one could not see through. And then sheer stark terror seized me. Underline, very important line. Seize means caught hold of me. Terror, frightened. Terror that knows no understanding. Underline, terror that knows no control. Terror that no one can understand who has not experienced it. So what he wanted to say is that only those people who had experienced the life and their situation, they will only understand the problem of others. I was shrieking, shouting underwater. I was paralyzed underwater, stiff, rigid with fear. Even the scream in my throat were frozen. Only my heart underlined and the pounding in my heart, beat in my heart, said that I was still alive. The body had become very rigid. He was finding it difficult to move. He was finding it difficult to breathe. Only the vibrating sound in his head was telling him that he is still alive. And then, in the midst of terror, came a touch of reason. Underline. I must remember to jump when I hit the bottom. At last, I felt the ties under me. My toes reached out as if to grab them. I jumped with everything I did. But the jump made no difference. The water was still around me. I looked for ropes, ladder, water wing. Nothing but water. Underline, a mass of yellow water held me. Stark terror took me and even deeper on hold me, like a great charge of electricity. I shook and trembled with fright. My arms wouldn't move. My legs wouldn't move. I tried to call to help, to call for mother. Nothing happened. And then strangely, there was light. I was coming out from an awful yellow water. At least my eyes were. My nose was almost out too. So first time when his feet touched the bottom of the swimming pool, he gave a jerk to his feet. He came up on the surface of the water. He tried to grab the rope at the edge of the swimming pool, but only the water came in his hand. He was able to take out his nose and eyes. The mouth was still under the water. As more and more water was getting inside his lung, the body was becoming heavy. The leg refused to move. It had become paralyzed and rigid, and he was pulled down under the swimming pool. When he was going under the swimming pool, more and more water was getting inside his body. His lungs were paining. He was feeling very dizzy. Only his head vibration in the head was telling that he was still alive. He wanted to scream, but he could not. His voice was choked. But as soon as his feet touched the bottom of the swimming pool, he remembered his strategy. He gave a jerk to his feet. But his nose and eyes came out the second time also, but he was not successful. Then again he went down the third time. I sucked for air and got water. The yellowish light was going out. Underline, very important para. Then all efforts ceased means stop. And after this he stopped all the efforts of saving himself. I relaxed. Even my legs felt limp and a blackness swept over my brain. There was a total blackness. He could not think. He could not see anything. It wiped out fear. It wiped out terror. Underline. There were no more panic. He was not scared because he knew it was quite peaceful. Nothing to be afraid of. This is nice. To be drowsy, to go to sleep. No need to jump. Too tired to jump. It's nice to be carried gently, to float along the space. Tender arm around me. Tender arm like mother's. Now I must go to sleep. This whole paragraph is telling that the poet has experienced his death. He knew that now he could not do anything. He was waiting for his death. The moment he realized and experienced his death, he felt eternal peace. He gave up and he was feeling very relaxed. There was no fear, of dying. There was no panic of dying because he had accepted that he is going to die. And that had given him a peace. Across to oblivion underlined and the curtain of life fell. Cross to oblivion means she had crossed all the challenges, hurdles of life, and now the curtain of life fell means death. Now he is waiting for his death. The next I remember, I was lying on my stomach beside the pool vomiting. So he was waiting, he has accepted his death, he had become unconscious. The moment when he gained his conscious, he opened his eyes, he saw that he was lying flat on his stomach, vomiting. The chap, that big 18-year-old boy who had threw him was saying, underlined, but I was only fooling. Someone said the kid nearly died. Be all right now, let's carry him to the locker room. Several hours later, underlined, very important, I walked home. I was weak and trembling. He was shaking. I shook and cried when I lay on my bed. I couldn't eat that night. For days, a haunting fear was in my heart. The slightest exertion means any kind of tiredness, upset me, making me wobbly in the knees. Wobbly means shaking in the knees and sick to my stomach. Sick means he feels uneasiness in his stomach. Here the question will be, student, of this paragraph, what he had spent or how he had spent the night that day. The night he had spent that day when the incident of YMCA pool took place. So student, the main thing is that which I wanted to, I never went back to pool. I feared water. I avoided it whenever I could. So Douglas had two aversion or two incident or an experience which left a permanent fear of water in his life. First, when he was 3 or 4 years old, he went to California beach along with his father. There he was carried over by the wave, and from there he developed the fear of water. So he wanted to get rid of the fear of water. He joined YMCA pool because Yakima River was treacherous, dangerous, and many incidents of drowning had taken place. So his mother wanted him to join YMCA pool. YMCA pool, according to Douglas, was safe for him as it was 9 feet deep, and he used to swim with the help of wings. One day, as we had read, he was sitting and waiting for the others. An 18-year-old boy, big Brusher boy, having a hair on his chest, well-built physique, having a rippling muscles, came and he picked up Douglas at the sitting position and threw him into the pool. In the beginning, Douglas was not scared of being thrown into the water because he had made a strategy in his mind that once he will touch the bottom of the swimming pool, he would give jerk to his feet and then he would come up on the surface of the water and will float like a cork. So when he was going deep inside the pool, the water was getting inside his lung. He was finding it difficult to breathe. But the strategy which was there in his mind was not making him to have panic. So when he was going deep inside the swimming pool, he was thrown at the sitting position. The water was getting inside his lung. He was finding it difficult to breathe. He was suffocating. But once his feet touched the bottom of the swimming pool, he gave a jerk to his feet. He came out of the surface of the water. He came up on the surface of the water. He could see the yellow color of the water. He tried to catch hold of the rope, but the water came in his hand, and in his first attempt, only his eyes and nose came out. The mouth was still inside the swimming pool. Again, he was pulled down in the swimming pool. As he was going deep inside the pool, more and more water was getting inside his lungs. His lungs were paining. His limbs had become paralyzed, rigid. He was feeling very drowsy, even dizzy also, but still the strategy was there in his mind. Second time, when his feet touched the bottom of the swimming pool, he gave a jerk to his feet. Again, the eyes and nose came out. Again, he was pulled inside the swimming pool.